Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery out here on a beautiful fall day, exciting day. We want to introduce to you the 2022 flagship series of bows from G5 Prime. This is the Inline series. And the reason I say that this is exciting is that occasionally we see from every one of the bow manufacturers a big change in what they do. Normally from year to year we see incremental changes and then we see a big change. And this is the big change year for Prime because, as you can see, if you know Prime bows, what's the first thing you look for? Parallel cams. We don't have it on the Inline series here. That's because they did a lot of engineering to figure some issues out that they solved with this bow. What I can tell you up front is it shoots awesome. Minimal vibration. You know, those dual cam bows, there was generally some vibration from them, as well as the weight. They've cut down on the weights of these bows, but tons of technology that we have to dive into with the Inline series. First, let's give you the specs. The Inline 1 measures 31 inches axle to axle. It's got a 7-inch brace height, 332 feet per second IBO speed rating. It's got a mass weight of 4.3 pounds. Let off is going to peak at 85%. You're going to have adjustable draw lengths on a module on the cam, so you can adjust from 26 to 30.5 inches, and it's going to be available in peak draw weights of 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, and 80 pounds. The Inline 3 measures 33 inches axle to axle. It's got a 6.5-inch brace height, an IBO speed rating of 337 feet per second. It's got a mass weight of 4.4 pounds. The let off is going to peak at 85%. Draw length is going to be, again, that adjustable module that takes you from 26 to 30.5 inches, and it's going to be available in peak draw weights of 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, and 80 pounds. The Inline 5 measures 35 inches axle to axle. It's got a 6-inch brace height, IBO speed rating of 343 feet per second. It's got a mass weight of 4.5 pounds. You're going to have let off that peaks out at 85%. The module is going to give you draw length adjustments from 26 to 30.5 inches, and it's going to be available in peak draw weights of 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, and 80 pounds. So, as we mentioned, the most noticeable thing about the Inline series is Prime went away from their parallel cam system. That's what they were known for years. And the engineers described to me what that system, what it's designed to do is you had two cams, you had, bow strings on each cam that came down to a single string. So now you have two strings up top pulling down on the cams, and you had your cables in the middle of that. So everything was centered. Everything was pulling down on the center of the cam as well as the axle. The payload was even. That eliminated cam lean, and it just made everything function super efficient. So why would they go away from that if it worked so well? Well, the engineers recognized the parallel cam system. It's complicated. The Nexus series bow, that bow had 7 strings to it between the yokes and different parts to the system with the cables and the string. If you replaced a set, you had to get 7 strings and cables. That's complicated. Also, those the parallel cams, that created vibration and noise. It was also extra weight. So they recognized there were pluses and minuses to that. And so then their job as engineers was to simplify everything. They said that as you progress, things should get simpler and function better. So in comes the Inline Cam System. So this actually does many of the same things that the parallel cam system did as well. And what you're going to notice when you look at this cam from the back is it looks like there's some really nasty cam lean. That's kind of an optical illusion. It's the string tracks are on an angle, the cables sit at an angle. But what happens is when you go to full draw, these cables are going to actually shift towards the cam. And when you come to full draw, it's pretty ingenious. The string and both the cables will actually be in line with another right underneath the cam. What's that do? There's your inline system. Everything is even. The load on the cam is even, the load on the axle is even. So that's how they were able to achieve the benefits of that parallel cam system with the single cam system. I mean, it is a 3-track binary cam, but for each cam, that's what's happening as you go through the draw cycle. Those cables shift over, and then the load is even between the cables and the string on the cam. So that's the basis for this cam system. Now, in doing that, there are other effects. Engineering, you change one thing, it's going to affect something somewhere else. So, coming down here to the limb pockets. If you take a good hard look at this, the other thing you're going to notice is this limb pocket does not sit dead center in the riser. It's adjusted over a little bit. That's to account for that adjusting load by the cables while maintaining. They still wanted you to have your 7/8 inch center shot. In other words, the center shot for this bow is going to be 7/8 inch out from the burger hole. They wanted to maintain that, so to do that, they had to shift the limb pockets, everything off to the side. So you'll notice when you look at this limb pocket that it is not physically centered in the riser there. That's on purpose. All right, so now it comes to tuning the Prime inline bows. How are you going to do that if you need to eliminate a left-right tear? Well, right here, these silver spacers in the middle there. Right now, what I have in here, these are both the same size spacer, and then in the box, you are also going to get a large and a small spacer. It's different thicknesses. The large is thicker than the small. And you're going to get enough spacers that you can affect both cams, which if you've seen some of the other spacer systems with bows, that's an added benefit that you get them in the box. Usually you have to buy them afterwards. But for folks at home, the way you would change out these spacers is you press the bow, take the axles out, and you're going to switch around the spacers. There is a tool for dealers that you're going to get. Basically, you'll see this gap in the spacers at the top there. These function similar to an E-clip. We've all seen E-clips holding the axles in on the end here. And there's a tool that functions like the E-clip tool that will spread those parts and pop them out so you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is put this into a bow press just to hold the weight of the bow. You're going to take one full turn out of each side here just to create some space. Pop those spacers out, and then you can make your adjustments. Now that tool is going to be for Prime dealers only. That's not going to be something that's available to the public. But again, as we mentioned, the public, if you're doing this at home, you can make those adjustments to the spacers simply by removing the axles as you do with other systems. Another piece with this cam system that they have this year is Prime went back to a limb stop. They had been cable stop for years. And some of the engineers said they were hearing feedback from archers who liked the real solid back wall of a limb stop. So they put the limb stop back in. So now when you come back to full draw, hit that wall, I mean, it's just like a brick. You're not going anywhere. So they have reinstated the limb stop. All right, so what else do we see with the inline series of bows? We got this nice riser here, which is that 82X aluminum that Prime has been using the last couple years. It's the Prime engineers say it's the best combination of strength to rigidity while still maintaining a light weight. That's the best combination they could find in this 82X aluminum that they use in their risers. Of course, coming back to something Prime has done for the last couple years is they have their center grip positioning. The throat of the grip is in the physical center of the bow. That gets more weight, more riser down underneath your hand, helps with the balance of the bow, helps with knock travel, just makes this a super stable bow to shoot. And you're going to notice they've been doing what they call the swerve. You're going to see this swerve down here in the bottom of the riser. basically mirrors the swerve at the top. Engineers said that helps to manage the vibration in the bow. By having it the same at the bottom as it is at the top, the frequencies of the vibration, they kind of cancel each other out, minimizing what's felt by the archer. Down here at the bottom, we've got some new vibration dampening. And again, the engineer said this is actually attached to the bolt that holds the limb pocket in place. So as that vibration is coming off those limbs, hits that limb pocket at the bolt, these vibration dampeners are designed to take some of that vibration out, again, so you don't feel it as much at the hand by the archer. Speaking of your hand, we've got this grip. This is the nano grip that Prime has had for the last couple years. And what's unique about it is inside there's a material called aerogel. And what this gel does is act like an insulator, okay? You know, we all know if you've been out there on those cold days, you got your hand in, if it's directly on the riser, or even if you have a grip there, your hand can get cold pretty quickly. Well, Prime has this nice rubberized grip. It is slim. They took material actually out of the riser so they could really slim the rubber portion of this grip. With the aerogel underneath, I mean, this thing is warm to the touch. It's incredible. It's a cool day out here now, and that grip just feels nice and warm. It is a nice grip, slender, thin. It's got a nice flat spot on the back here, nice rounded edges, great for promoting good hand position. We have, again, another legacy technology from Prime. You have their Flexus AR cable containment system, and this arm basically, it flexes in and out through the draw cycle to kind of control the load, these cables, the side load that they're putting on the bow. They've had that for several years with much success. In the middle here, you're gonna see two burger holes. If you have an arrow rest with room to get two bolts in there, man, that's a real solid way to lock that rest in place. Bow hunters were out there banging things around. With those two bolts in there, you know that rest just isn't gonna move. So lastly, we wanted to mention something Prime's been doing for years is this lifetime free replacement of your strings and cables. Every year and a half that you own this bow, you can get replacement cables and strings for free from Prime. Just take it to your dealer, they will set it up. Boom, you can get those replacements. I mean, that's at least $130 value right there. Every year and a half you can get for free. So that is an added value for the Prime series. All right, so for shooting the Prime Inline series, I have here the Inline 5. This is a 35-inch bow. That's what I set up to shoot. But it's nice that Prime offers multiple options. You've got the 135, 31 inches, 33 inches, 35 inches. So depending on what you like as far as a length of a bow, you've got an option. All the same technology, just different lengths. So I think that's a great offering from Prime. What I noticed with this is all the things that the engineers said. I've shot Primes in the past and you would feel a little bit of vibration in your hand. They did tend to be on the louder side. That's not an issue with this bow. This Inline 5 just holds like a dream. I was impressed at how fast I was able to get super accurate with this bow. It holds nice, you know, with that extra weight down low. The draw cycle, super smooth. It's gonna require effort at the front end and then everything's just gonna let off as you come back to the back wall. That limb stop, I found I really like that. There's no creeping because you can stay into that back wall just by pulling into it. And just a super shooting bow. It took me almost no time to get it tuned. I know we talked about the spacers, but all I had to do was make adjustments in the rest and I was able to get a bullet hole within just a couple minutes. Arrow flight is incredible, and I came out here and I was shooting it out to 50 yards, and once I got my sight dialed in, man, everything just fell right behind the pin. It was effortless. You know, some bows can be super accurate, but you kind of have to work. You have to pay attention to every little detail to get that bow to work for you. This is not one of those bows. This is one where you can kind of relax, just let the bow do what it does and things fall into place. I guess that's forgiveness is what they would call that. I tend to like that one because I am not perfect in my shot process. So it was nice to shoot this bow and get that kind of performance. So I can't stress enough that it's enjoyable from my end to see when a company makes one of these big jumps in their technologies, you know, which may take them away from things that they are known for. And of course, Prime, you know, going away from the parallel cam systems, but still, you know, with the inline system, they were still able to achieve the things they accomplished with the parallel cam system with single cams, with just a regular binary cam system. That's incredible to see how they were able to work through that process to get this system to function and do everything that that parallel cam system did. So that is the Prime Inline series, the Inline 1, Inline 3, and Inline 5. Great innovative new bows from G5 Prime for 2022. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click that bell to get notifications whenever we put out new videos. As always, if you have any questions, you can visit us at LancasterArchery.com.